Well, if you think the Canadian justice system and law enforcement have lost their way over the past few years, just wait until you hear this story. Wendy Washik, a Simcoe, Ontario woman, was enjoying a neighborhood get-together over Labor Day long weekend when she picked up a water gun and had a water fight with one of the neighbor's children. Now, you might think that a woman carrying such a dangerous weapon like a water gun would require immediate police attention if someone were to, unfortunately, catch a stray water squirt. Well, that's exactly what happened. Washik is now facing a criminal charge of assault with a weapon, which actually means now that the OPP consider a water gun to be a weapon, even after an investigation. This is a story of police incompetence and a mind-boggling waste of police resources, resulting in a woman's life being ruined after a playful neighborhood water gun fight. So joining us now on the Faulkner Show is Wendy Washik. Wendy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Harrison.
Okay, so explain to us what happened here, how a 58-year-old school employee holding a water gun could end up with an assault with a weapon charge.
Well, it was Labor Day weekend on the Sunday, September 1st. We were invited over to a neighbor's with a few people there that we hadn't met because we've only been in the community for a couple of years. So it was just a small gathering, maybe 10 of us. And when we went into the backyard, we were sitting and chatting, having some food. And while we were there, I noticed there was a young boy. I believe he's 10 years old. And there wasn't any other kids there at that time. So he looked bored and I asked him if he had any water guns. And he said, yeah. And I said, well, let's run across the street and go grab them. So we ran across the street, filled them up, and started squirting each other. We proceeded to go into the backyard where the little get-together was and squirted some people there. And then the young boy ran out of the gate and I ran after him. And while I was running after him, I was pumping the water gun to try and get the water out. And while I was doing that, I was squirting. And I just happened to notice that the neighbor was out and I ended up squirting him by accident. He was about 3 feet away from where I was, cutting his grass. I continued to go over and apologize to him because he was very, very upset. Apologized several times and he did not accept my apology. And by then, because he was screaming so loud that the rest of the people in the backyard came out to see what the commotion was. And he was not willing to listen to me. He wasn't willing to listen to the neighbors. They were saying it was an accident too. He went in, called the police. So we were all sticking around in the backyard thinking we were going to be questioned on what happened. 45 minutes later, my husband was out front talking to the police and they said, you need to go get your wife in the backyard. She's being charged with assault with a weapon. And my husband was like in disbelief and couldn't believe it. So he came and got me and he took me to the police car. They didn't arrest me, but they did fill out a citation, and I am charged with assault with a weapon. I signed it and went home.
This is incredible. So you said that the OPP were speaking to your husband, but they didn't speak to any of did they speak to any bystanders, and did they speak to you? Because in the Toronto Star, the reporting indicates that there was an investigation, and after that investigation, you were charged and taken into custody. So what kind of investigation was done?
The investigation was with the gentleman that charged me with assault with a weapon. The police did not ask me a single question. They didn't ask to see the child's water gun. They didn't ask any neighbor a question. They talked to the gentleman that charged me, and that was it.
Wow, and you may not be able to answer this, I'm not exactly sure, but has anybody from the police, the police that have carried through with this charge, have they communicated with you since your story has become national news and it's gone extremely viral on social media?
I haven't heard a thing from
Really?
the police. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. So we know that, Norfolk County is dealing with similar crime issues like the rest of Ontario and Canada, specifically with a recent string of carjackings, which have really unfortunately become all too familiar for Canadians in the last few years. But Does your local OPP detachment have this much free time to go after a local school employee with a water gun?
Well, I guess you wouldn't think so. We have crime here, just like you said, but um, I guess they do. I don't know what to say to that because
Yeah,
it is a waste of money and resources. And, someone could have been out there being called for something else, much more serious.
of course. And besides you being the one that has actually been charged for this in your wildest dreams, could you have ever imagined the local police detachment charging a woman with assault with a weapon after using a water gun? Besides you being the actual person on the receiving end of this charge, could you even dream that this would be possible for your local police detachment to go through with something like this?
You know what? I was at my second day of work. I only got through part of the day. Actually, it was my first day of work back. And my daughter called and said, "You know what? You're in the news. Your name is disclosed, your age, and that you were charged with assault with a white weapon." And that's all that was said. And I it just couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe they'd use my name and say assault with a weapon without saying it was a water gun.
Right. And it's assault with a weapon is a serious charge, right? Like, I can't believe that you would be found guilty for this. But if you are found guilty for assault with a weapon, what kind of punishment are you looking at?
You know what, Harrison, I haven't even looked into that. I haven't asked about it because I will lose more sleep if I look into that. That'll just set me back on my emotional roller coaster again.
Right. No, I can imagine. Now, if Canadians want to get involved with your case and they want to support you, how can they do that?
Well, we did have a GoFundMe going, but that was canceled because I guess they can't do criminal cases. So we were able to get some money from them that was raised, but not all of it. So we started a Give, Send, Go under my name, Wendy Washik, and we're looking to raise as much as we can with that. We also have a change.org. It's a petition out there that my son started. Um, we just want to get the petition to take to the Crown when it comes time.
Right. And I'm not exactly sure how or what the process is, but have anybody from the township or the region or your town, or even at a political level, reached out to you to see what's going on here? Because it just seems one like a serious embarrassment for your local police detachment and for the town.
Yeah. I am supposed to be meeting with my MPP tomorrow. She's been really busy, but she is wanting to get together with me tomorrow.
Well, that's good to hear. At least somebody wants to speak with you and get your side of the story that represents the government. Because I can't imagine something as embarrassing as this happening. Um, do you have any background with the law? Any background running into the law, using weapons at all?
No, I don't have any background, but my husband's a retired OPP.
Really? So
Yeah.
unbelievable. So OPP officers spoke with your husband before they charged you, and he himself is a former officer.
Yeah.
And you've never run into the law yourself at all.
Other than a speeding ticket, no.
Well, that really is astonishing, and we hope that your story can get out there because from what you've said and from what has been reported in the news, I really can't believe this is happening, and I do genuinely have sympathy for you and your family because this is a stunning story and one that I think speaks to the waste that we see in law enforcement and also the fact that this is even being contemplated by the police. Do you have any other comments you would like to give to our audience, and any other words that you would like to share with the audience today?
No, I don't think so. You know what? My two children and my husband have been traumatized over this. They're having a hard time continuing their life because they're trying to help me because I'm not that great with all this stuff online. Um, yeah, it's just been traumatic for the four of us.
I can imagine. If any of the audience wants to financially help you, Wendy, or if they want to add their name rather to the petition, the audience can find links to that in the description of this video. Wendy, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for sharing your side of the story. We hope that it gets more attention.
Thanks so much, Harrison, for reaching out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.